Now I will give the floor to Lillian Sol Cueva from the Women's Major Group.
Gracias, moderadora.
Thank you, moderator.
Mexico, and I speak on behalf of the Women's Major Group. Patriarchy, colonialism, and other systems of oppression interact to reinforce inequalities, deny women and girls their agency, and block progress toward achieving sustainable development and solving many of the ongoing global crises. This is reflected in the ways that women bear disproportionate burdens of development failures. Unequal structures, including the current economic model, lead to climate change and ecological degradation, militarization and conflict, unjust ecosystem, financial, trade, and investment governance, corporate capture and wealth concentration, illicit financial flows, land and resource grabbing, to name only a few. Space is closing for civil society. Girls and women's and feminist groups face additional challenges. We are attacked for being women's groups, criminalized and harassed in person and online, starved of funding to do the critical work on SDGs and structural change. The CSW, the Human Rights Council, and the Escazú Agreement adopted this year all refer to a state's responsibility to take steps to protect and ensure safety of girls and women and environmental human rights defenders. That commitment is lacking in the Agenda 2030, but it's absolutely essential to enable a holistic realization of Agenda 2030. Members of the Women's Major Group are doing creative and persistent work in countries around the world on implementation and accountability. We are committed to documenting that work and sharing that knowledge broadly so that civil society colleagues, the UN, and member states alike can learn from it. One example is an annual survey of women's groups' participation in the VNR process, and another is a set of guidelines to support participation in country VNRs, as well as to develop alternative reports. Our work also includes critically monitoring the implementation of SDGs through alternative reports using feminist development justice indicators to shift the current power, resource, and wealth inequalities. Feminists worldwide, not just in this room, are constantly pushing for progress and breaking down barriers. We are taking action that leaves no one behind, putting people over profit, leading to the actual transformative change that we all need. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian, for that intervention. And now I will give the floor to the Asia-Pacific Regional Coordination Engagement Mechanism. It is my pleasure to introduce Guardarina, who is the co-chair of the mechanism.
Thank you. I would like to share our experience in Asia-Pacific. Since 2014, we established Asia-Pacific Regional CSO Engagement Mechanism that we call RCEM, a platform initiated, driven, and owned by Asia-Pacific CSOs and aimed to work with the UN system across the region. Our structure designed to harness grassroots voices and people's movements. That's why, since our establishment, we work with 17 constituencies, including migrants, LGBTIQ, people living affected by HIV, and etc. We would like to share some of our key reflection points. One, in terms of the SDGs, we found it's really important to have the regional processes. We want to make sure that our position reflects the ground